iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is time for our Los Angeles Rams preview. And, oh man, the Rams were so disappointing last year. And I'm a sucker. I admit I'm a sucker. You know, I watch Hard Knocks. And I get caught up. I do. I get caught up with the players. I get caught up with the stories. I get caught up with the coaches, who's going to get cut, who's going to make the team. And I just find that I like those players a little bit more. And kudos to HBO for getting me emotionally involved. And I'm like, oh, I love this guy. Yeah, he's got potential. And so I sit there and I watched Jared Goff last year, and I'm thinking, maybe he's the real deal. But also when I'm watching Hard Knocks, I've noticed some really bad coaches. I have. Like Mike Smith. I knew this guy was going to get fired that year for the Falcons. He looked terrible. He looked disinterested. Jeff Fisher? That dude looked like he was a walking zombie. He had no clue what was going on. So, as much as I like Hard Knocks, and I do, I think it gives us insight not only to the players, but to the coaches and why teams do what they do. I was very unimpressed. Joe Philbin, I said it for years on our show. I said, this guy looked like a wet cornflake. Tommy G was like, no, this guy's not so bad. I'm like, Tommy G is going to get fired any day. Sure enough, he gets fired. It exposes people. Jared Goff was exposed last year in the NFL. He just wasn't very good. Now, I'm not so sure he was ever that good in college either. He had one super year. I give him that. Is he a great young quarterback? Yeah, I don't know about that, guys. I don't know. Week 11, 17 for 31, 134 yards. Week 12, 20 for 32, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's against the Saints. I could throw that against the Saints personally. At New England, 14 for 32, 161 and a touch. Atlanta, 24 for 41, 235 yards, no touchdowns. At Seattle, 13 for 25, 135 yards, no touchdowns. San Francisco, 11 for 24, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. Arizona, 13 for 20, 120 yards, no touchdowns. These are criminally bad numbers. Criminally bad numbers. I mean, 2 games of over 200 yards? 2. This is the NFL. 200 yards you do in the first half. Even Blake Bortles does that. Now, I am willing to give Jared Goff the benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to erase last year as the Jeff Fisher year. But in comes Sean McVay, and this guy knows offense. Ran it for the Redskins. Ran it well. So, if he can't salvage Jared Goff this year, I think the Rams have a bust on their hands. I do. I thought they had a bust on their hands last year. I would never have traded up all that they did for Jared Goff. Just wouldn't have. He was good, wasn't that good. He wasn't let me trade my entire franchise first pick good. I mean, really? I don't know. I just look at it and I just say, I don't know. So here's where I'll go with this. I'll take Jared Goff in a best ball draft in round 23. That's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm talking about really late. Maybe he's my third guy because I need a third guy, or I'm a super flex league where I need a third or fourth quarterback. But I might take Deshaun Watson over him. I might argue and take Josh McCown over him. I might take Paxton Lynch over him. I think there are issues here, severe issues. There are going to be a couple of guys who can fix these issues, and I'll get to them in a second. Speaking of issues, did any running back have more issues than Todd Gurley? I mean, Todd Gurley goes in 2015, 229 yards, 229 attempts, 1,106 yards, 10 touchdowns, 21 catches. Now he regresses, he gets 50 more carries, only gets 885 yards and 6 touchdowns. His rush yards per carry is 3.2. He has no big rush games. He has 2 rushes of over 20 yards. Are you kidding me? This is the NFL. Now, I don't want to blame Gurley. I'm going to blame the atrocious Rams offensive line. But are you telling me that Gurley is not going to get 25 carries a game? I mean, I can't see how he doesn't. So last year, 17, 19, 27, 19, 23, 14, 15, 12, 21, 20, 13, 11, 16, 14, 23, 14. I think he's going to get 14 to 18 carries a game. He did catch 43 passes this year, even though Malcolm Brown is supposedly the backup. I still think Gurley gets the catches. But I got to question Todd Gurley right now. You're getting those kinds of opportunities. You got to break up. You got to break a play. Make a play. Make a play. He had 2 plays last year of over 20 yards. That's unfathomable. Cray. Dude, you're Todd Gurley. You're an NFL running back. Bad NFL running backs make big plays. How do you not? Once again, I get it. Jared Goff was there. You're loading the box. The offensive line stinks. There were things working against him. I am not taking Todd Gurley in the second round. I'm just not doing it. No way, no how, no chance. Maybe I will lose my league because of it. I'm okay with that. If I lose my fantasy football championship this year because Todd Gurley exploded for 1,600 yards rushing and 400 yards receiving and has 12 total touchdowns, then I will be okay with that. I will be. But I'm not taking him in round 2. Just not. I'm not taking an above average to good player on a wretched team. And yeah, the Rams are bad. The Rams are bad. But I'm not going to do it. I will take Todd Gurley in round 3. If I'm picking number 1, or 2, and I can get Todd Gurley in the beginning of the 3rd round, I will do it. The chances are very slim that happens. Very slim that happens. I assume it won't happen. But that's where I'll take him. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe your league dominates with running backs. I'm in a PPR format. Yes, I know that Gurley had 43 receptions last year. I just don't trust what's going on in this whole team. I mean, they had no wide receivers last year. At least this year they have some better players. I don't know if he gets 43 receptions either. Maybe he gets 30. I just don't like him. At wide receiver, there's Tavon Austin, who I think has a lot of value in leagues where you get the bonus points for. So there's some leagues where an individual player, let's say Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill returns a punt for a touchdown, you get that for Tyreek Hill. If he returns a kickoff for a touchdown, you get that for Hill and not just the Chiefs defense. If that's the case in your league, bump up Tavon Woods just a little bit because I think he's an outstanding returner. I don't think he's an outstanding wide receiver. And I got to tell you, once again, this is the Rams being a marginal judge of talent on the offense. This guy was never a superstar in college. He was a good player, but he played for a team that threw the ball 1,000 times. It was like being in Texas Tech. Was he that good a player way back when? I don't know about that. He was fast, but I don't think he was a great player. I know my man Jason Braddock didn't think so. We were like, he's a fast, speedy guy, but I don't know whether he's a guy I'm building my team around. He's a small dude. I think he has heart. I think he's a good player. He's a gadget guy to me. He's a gadget guy. Robert Woods is now there. Robert Woods has now is now a Ram. So if you are a narrative kind of guy, and you know that I am a narrative kind of guy, Robert Woods has my narrative. Why? He went to USC. Now he's back in LA. I assume, I'm not sure, I could check it on Wikipedia, but I assume he's from California. There's got to be a reason he wanted to be there. Now, I think Robert Woods will probably have a career year this year. I mean, he's never really had 700 yards receiving. Could he have that this year? Absolutely. He's never had more than 5 touchdowns. Could he have more than that this year? Absolutely. I think Robert Woods is very smart. He went to a team that didn't have a number one receiver because Tavon Austin's really not that kind of guy. Tavon Austin is an okay receiver, but he's not a true number one, right? So Woods goes, let me go out there to LA. Let me go hang out with my boys. Let me go out there near where I went to college, and I'll go be the number one receiver. Good for Robert Woods. That's smart. That's smart, absolutely. Possibly my favorite receiver there is a guy named Cooper Kupp. Now, Cooper Kupp is from Eastern Washington. If you don't know Eastern Washington, let me help you here. They are a prolific college football championship subdivision school. Okay? What we used to call 1AA. But I want to give you his numbers in college. 93 catches for 1,691 yards and 21 touchdowns. 104 receptions for 1,431 yards and 16 touchdowns. 114 receptions for 1,642 yards and 19 touchdowns. 117 receptions for 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns. Oh my God. Now, I don't know whether Cooper Kupp is going to do that in the NFL. I'm assuming he won't. It's not Eastern Washington. But if he gave you a third of those numbers, would you be happy? And what I like about Cooper Kupp is this. Nobody knew Wes Welker when he came from Texas Tech. Nobody knew Cole Beasley when he came from SMU. These were prolific. Emmanuel Sanders, one of the greatest route runners ever. Guys who are prolific route runners find homes in the NFL. Mark it down. I believe in that. That is factual. Prolific route runners find homes in the NFL because they save quarterbacks. They save them. Jared Goff drops back. Cooper Kupp is in the right spot every time. Jared Goff goes to him every time. Why did Dak Prescott use Cole Beasley so much? Why did Emmanuel Sanders get so many receptions? Why was Wes Welker such a huge target? These guys were smart players who were in the right spot. Quarterbacks love them. Offensive coordinators love them. Cooper Kupp could get 50 receptions this year. Now, is that going to mean much for me in my Hooters home league? Probably not. If I'm in a deeper fantasy league, like the Fantasy Football World Championship, yeah, he's a 15th or 16th round pick. What if he gets me 4 to 5 receptions a week for 50 yards? He's a 10-point player. Now, I don't think a 10-point player is a star, but it's 10 more points than I had when those as my second flex spot. I'm okay with that. There's Josh Reynolds is there. There are a lot of pundits out there, a lot of experts in the industry who really thought he was the best draft pick. Josh Reynolds is a tall guy, not the fastest guy. Played at Texas A&M. He won a lot of 50-50 balls. So ball was in the air. He fought for it. He's got some skills, not a ton of skills. I'm not loving him. I'm liking him. I think he's okay. I think he's better in a dynasty league than he is in a redraft league. I think you've got Austin. I think you've got Woods. I think you've got Kupp. But I will give you another guy to watch. At tight end, Gerald Everett. So I'm going to go back to my friend Jason Braddock, who breaks down the NFL draft like nobody's business. And Jason said to me the following. He said, my favorite tight end in this year's class is Gerald Everett. I'm like, what? Who? What? What are you talking about? He goes, I'm watching the tape and I'm telling you, this guy has skills. 6'3", 245 pounds. He's fast. He's rangy. Plays like a wide receiver. I mean, he played at South Alabama. What if he played at Michigan? See, that's the thing is sometimes in the NFL, and certainly with people who don't follow the draft. Who's South Alabama? What's it? USA? Is that the United States of America? No, it's the University of South Alabama. I never heard of this kid. I'm not drafting him. Just because you haven't heard of him doesn't mean he's not a good player. I say that all the time. The world doesn't begin and end with you. Just because you have never heard of Gerald Everett doesn't mean Sean McVay hasn't. Sean McVay has heard of Gerald Everett, and he knows what kind of gem this guy is. Sean McVay has worked with Jordan Reed, and he knows he can make a tight end a feature player in an offense. And I think that's what's going to happen with Gerald Everett very soon. Will it be this year? I'm not so sure, but it's going to be soon. I think he's a sleeper this year because nobody's taking him. Tyler Higbee, yeah, he's a jag. Just a guy. He was a 4th-round pick last year. He's a set. Look, if they go in a two tight end set, Higbee will be out there. But I don't think they're going to do that because you can't take Cooper Kupp off the field. You can't do it. See, I think Cooper Kupp is the guy that you realize I can't take him off the field because he's so valuable to my team because he's in the right spot. At the end of the day, Robert Woods will be in the right spot. Cooper Kupp will be in the right spot. And that's what I can count on. Because Jared Goff may not be in the right spot. Todd Gurley may not be finding a hole. Gerald Everett is new. I need a couple of people out there who know where they're going. Very important. Okay? I know where I'm going if I want to play fantasy football. I'm going to play ffwc.com. And I'm telling you, I think even tonight, I think there's definitely drafts. I know there's drafts, right? Tonight, there's a starter full season draft at 8 p.m. An online championship draft at 9:30 p.m. There's a draft and go at 9 p.m. We've got a few spots in each of these drafts left. I don't know. Maybe you'll see Dr. Roto win one of these drafts. You never know. You never know what could happen. We've got 2 spots left in a starter full season slow draft that can be happening. All right, so you go there, you go to the lobby, you start draft, you say, look, online championship, more info, click more info, you find out who's in the league with you. Oh, I don't know these guys. All right, then I learn more about it, I want to enter. It's as simple as that. You get into one of our leagues. Do you know why you get into one of our leagues? Because we offer the best payouts in the industry. We have the best commissioner product, great drafting room, no trading. Nobody's going to screw up your league with trading. I'm in a baseball league now. I can't even begin to tell you about the bad trades this year. I don't think I'm coming back, and I've been in that league for 25 years. I've had enough of trading leagues. I'm done. If I lose, let it be on my merit. On my merit. So, I think, you know who deserves merit? Play FFWC. Best game out there. And I want you to check out scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO. That's ROTO. Pay for 1 month, get 2 more months for free. Our preseason pro is going to come out any day now, guys. Who are the stash and cash guys? Who are the stars? Who are the guys you need to watch? Who are the top players? We're working on that right now. Should be out by the end of the week. And I am very excited. But you can only get that if you're a member of Scout Fantasy. All right, time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back tomorrow with more podcasting and more previews when we return. So have a great day, be well, and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!